Hey everybody, I'm Jose and welcome to our little world. So, a couple of weeks ago, my wife and I we were talking about uh, cats and kittens being sold online through pages like Legitimate Hustle, and there are a bunch of other ones. And that these animals are going really cheap, and people think that they're getting a bargain when actually they're not. Buying a cat at $10 to $45 or a puppy at maybe $100, that's not a steal. What you're actually getting is a vet bill much bigger. You're going to be paying for vaccinations, you're going to be paying for neutering and spaying, you're going to be paying for microchipping, and that's if the dog is okay. If it's sick, which you won't know in the beginning. We've seen cats and kittens who are perfectly fine and in like 3 days, swollen eyes, bad diarrhea, uh, and dying. And it can happen that quickly. Uh, what you're going to get is something that is full of parasites, fleas, ticks, distemper, panleukopenia, which is distemper, feline leukemia for cats, FIV, which in truth, FIV is not that big of a deal. FIV animals can live a regular lifespan, especially in an environment that's constantly clean and it's being fed healthy food. And as long as you're not feeding it hot dogs, it should be okay for it. At least 2 decades. You go to the vet with your sick animal, and that $45 animal is now going to cost you anywhere between $500 and $2,000, depending on what is needed. So, really think about what you're doing when you see those ads and Christmas is coming. You don't want that kind of Christmas with, your little boy or little girl, your wife, your husband having to stand over a tiny life that isn't going to make it. Now, that's not saying that you shouldn't, go and get a pet. Just know what you're in for. If you want the best experience, go to an animal shelter. Go where the chipping and the spaying and the vaccinations are done before you walk through the door. Don't do something just spur of the moment. You're not going to have a happy ending with this. Bethany recently, well, not recently, a couple of months ago, she brought home a kitten from somebody who was selling this cat online. And if Bethany hadn't gotten it, she would have died. And she was anemic, she was full of fleas. Uh, we had to give her a dewormer just to, pull her through. And in a couple of days, she started coming around, and now she's this big and beautiful kitten who's about to be adopted through guess whom. With this season coming up, don't be tempted to go online and, you know, get an animal that may not live to see the spring. These people go out and they steal kittens from their mothers before they can be weaned properly. And kittens and dogs, they get their disease-fighting antibodies through their moms. And when they're taken prematurely, they don't have the time to build up an immunity to things. And it is terrifying and it is heartbreaking to watch something that small and that dependent on you waste away. If you are going to do this, go to your vet immediately. Going to your vet is your best option for saving this life and having a good life with this animal. Be cautious and hey buddy, and be loving. Don't do this on a spur that in a couple of months you're just going to get rid of it when it's not cute anymore. We see that all the time. These wonderful animals who just want to love you and be loved, betrayed like that. And I'm not saying that anybody who's watching this is that way, but it's tempting because I've known people in my personal life who've done that. So be smart and good night.